least with StreamYard is then I can go live still to trick the algorithm and then like play this part, right? And then like pop back in, if that makes sense.
You have to teach. That's advanced.
That part I did figure out. Jumping through all the hoops of meta now. That takes a little bit more time, but so that's why I was like, okay, well, it's less like I don't have to worry about all the comments working and is somebody here yet? Because I'm like, oh, I'll just either chop it up or I'll just like stream that part later. It'll be fine.
And maybe we can try. Let's see how like your audience responds, and maybe we can find. Because what did you say the normal time is for the live?
So like normally, so it's like 7:00 Eastern time for me. So that's 4 Pacific.
Wait, 7 a.m., 7 p.m.
PM.
7 p.m. So that's 5. So it's midnight. So it's like doable. And it's like a doable thing with a dance.
Well, and I'm all just like, well, it's my show, so we can figure things out. But
I'm like, let's see how this one does. Because if you get a lot of engagement with like lives, and there's like, because I love like actually answering live questions and stuff like that too. Like,
and that could be a different day. It could be like, ask me anything on a Wednesday or a Thursday or whatever. I'm trying to not make more work for everybody, but also it's like, okay, at some point, if not now, when?
Yeah. No, I'm here for it. Let's see how this one goes. I'm excited we were able to make it work this way as our initial experiment. So
I know this is gonna be so fun. Okay, so thanks for coming. I don't really need to do all the intro because I will do that when I reintroduce. So this is me introducing the pre-recording of what I'm hopefully just introduced you on the actual Tuesday of what's happening. So, I mean, we can still say the joke because jokes are fun as I like go and Google fun condom jokes. So today's condom joke is, why don't condoms, like, why do they ever get into arguments? They don't get into these arguments, right? Because they always know how to wrap things up before it gets messy.
I thought you were going to say it's because they're such good communicators.
See, this is why she's the mastermind, everybody. I'm super like, I know I realize I say this too many times. Now that somebody put it out, like I'm super jazzed. Like who really says that? Not in like signing someone's yearbook. Me apparently.
No, I am super jazzed. 100% me. I say words like stoked and I mean it.
so you're in good company. I mean it, right? I think a shibby came out of my mouth once. Like we're going all the way to Dude, Where's My Car? So I'm like, okay, this is why the show has become what it is, right? We're just attractive, fabulous people in the sentient being that is now the show, which started as a soapbox and now is somehow an education and a retail education at that. So challenge accepted. Manifested this lovely, lovely human. And I'm just gonna let you like, hey, do the where in the world is Allie? What's she doing? Why do I even care about this superhuman? And I'm hoping I introduce it in the pre-recording here too.
Am I introducing myself or I'm sorry.
Well, no, because I'm gonna do I'll just erase this part. I'll do because in my normal intro, I will like introduce you, but I'll do the like, hey, it's Allie, and then you can be like, this is how I got in here, right? Like, how do we know each other? Kind of deal.
Oh, how we met. Okay, yeah. Just feed me like what it's coming in from, so I know, and then I'm golden.
Okay, we'll be good. Sorry, today's just like one of those. It's just been one of those weeks where everything's especially harder than it needs to be, and I don't know why.
It happens.
Okay, so tonight's kind of a big deal. I don't know if you know, but we got Allie here, Allie Iseman. She's a writer, TV host, ICF certified relationship coach. She's a brilliant mind, a fabulous, brilliant mind, but also brilliant mind of passporttopleasure.com, which if you haven't checked out, I'm sure you're Googling right now and you should. What else? You're also certified in consent and communication specialist, right? All these great, amazing things that like go on, including New York Times, Cosmopolitan. She's fancy. She's fancy, y'all. So seriously, we're talking about this. I'm so jazzed that she's here. So I'm going to welcome you. Welcome, Allie. Thank you for coming. We had this like great relationship, and then all of a sudden we both moved. You moved to a whole other country. I moved across the country. And I got derailed, and thankfully the universe still brought us together, and we were able to make this happen. So I'm very exciting. But thank you again for coming. Let's start with you. How did you get here? How did you go from storyteller to relationship renegade to Tori's small little podcast here where we try to make things work and I learned how to be an editor?
Well, the journey is ongoing. As you said, when you meet someone and it's such an explosive experience that it sends one of you careening across the country and one of you careening across an ocean, there's something there.
We weren't supposed to be together yet, but we were supposed to be together. Like, what's happening?
Star-crossed. It's okay.
No, it is super, super exciting. And I hope your move went well and you're still like, you're doing fabulous. I hope you're doing fabulous. Fabulous people coming to the show. I hope it's all going good.
Thank you. It is. I consider myself a wanderlustful soul. So, it was a matter of time.
I love that word.
So, yeah, I think now I'm settling in here nicely. I'm enjoying. I'm now in London by way of Los Angeles since for the past almost 18 years, originally from the East Coast in the US. I now find myself, getting to do the incredible work that I've been doing for the past almost 10 years, working with mostly couples at transition points, definitely plenty of individuals and other relationship constellations as well. But a lot of couples come to me when they're looking to open up their relationship because of my specialization. I work primarily in the E&M and poly space. I've been dating and relating non-monogamously myself since 2016. I'm now certified through ICF as a relationship coach where I get to integrate that experience and that skill level with this kind of work. And I love having this kind of conversation.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be so fun. But also I distracted myself and I'm like, dang it, I have a blazer like that. I should have worn the cute. We could have been matchy. Dang it. In another world, it would have been so perfect. I'm like, maybe I can go grab it here in a minute. We'll talk fashion later. That's not important. Also love that you've been able to mold what you already loved doing into something that allows you to go where you want to go and actually create what you want to create. I know that sounds bogus or like really woo-woo, but I'm sure we get to talk to a lot of people, which is great, but there's so many great ideas out there and so many dreamers. And I think that's fabulous with the people that actually go out and do it and keep doing it. That's another thing, right? So yay, I'm so inspired by you. Thank you for coming again, where it's like, you still get out there and you do it. And we'll talk about it in a little bit because we'll jump into the fun interview questions, right? So kind of just segueing into what it is that you love to do and all your specialties and the fun stuff. If you've met Allie, or if this is the first time you are, yay. You talk a lot about expanding relationship design or the expansive relationship design. Excuse me. I'm like expanding. I got product brain in my head right now. What does that mean? Right. If I've like, kind of just jumping in and I'm listening to these two ladies babble. Oh, yeah. How can anyone, monogamous or not, how do you benefit from any sort of framework or outline like this?
Well, you hit the nail on the head right there with framework, any kind of outline, right? We treat relationships like they're this sort of afterthought, right? Like, oh, you had parents, so, they probably did a great job showing you what relationship looks like, so you should be good at it. Like, how many of us actually had that experience? Right. Not many. Based on statistics alone, not many. So we treat relationship like this afterthought when it comes to, our closest, most intimate, romantic, sexual relationships. But you'll see people spend God knows how much time, money, effort, and energy on, business communication, how to optimize that meeting, how to pitch, all this stuff. How is that relevant, or how is that an investment that's worth it if it's not investing in your core relationships, your foundational relationships, the people you're spending the most time with, that you are showing the most of yourself to? So we treat relationships like this passive afterthought, and we think somehow they're just going to maintain their aliveness without our attention and effort. Well, newsflash, dating and relating is a skill set. So you can be good or not good at it, regardless of what relationship dynamic you choose, relationship.
And it's okay if you've perceived yourself good or bad or whatever. Just be willing to want to work on it, whatever it is, right? It just is, right?
Exactly. Coming from curiosity. And that's why I say, like, even if my goal for people is to just choose your relationship. Because right now, most people are sleepwalking through relationships. They're just sort of like, oh, I'm in, this is the one kind of relationship that exists. I'm in it. if it's not working, I must be the problem or my partner's the problem. And really, it's just understanding relationships as a part of your life, understanding all the relationship styles that are there so you can actively choose the best one for you. And that might be monogamy. That is monogamy for some people. But if you don't understand all the relationship styles that are actually available and what it really means to build relationship, which is just an agreement with other people or another person, then you're just kind of sleepwalking into it. So my goal is to help people understand and actively choose the relationship for them. And you do that by learning about all the relationship styles available. So why I like to say that even if you're monogamous, learning about consensual non-monogamy will benefit your relationship. Not only are you learning all the skills required to have a great, strong, intimate, trustworthy relationship of any kind, but you're also actually learning more about yourself, what your needs are, what your desires are, and being able to choose a relationship structure that actually supports that.
That's huge. And like, 100%. I love how you laid that out. And I would also not just agree, but just bravo. There's a lot of time and energy that I know, even for me, I've spent trying to understand a feeling. It's the same thing. Like, here's all the relationships, almost like, I'm still going to my favorite place, but I still want to see what's on the menu. Almost. It's a lot easier to, or if I saw this person's meal over here, I just need to identify it. And I guess that's like what you have to do with feelings in general. So just being able to, like, humans want to categorize things, being able to give it a label is important. So it's okay that you're exploring that sort of label and not just, your romantic relationships, but any relationship. Your relationships are you. That's it. That's your wild and precious life. This is it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. How you relate is how you relate across the board. So investing the time and energy into understanding how to do that more effectively with those closest to you is only going to benefit every area of your life.
It's awesome. So here's anybody listening, here's the episode where Tori and Allie out of nowhere give you permission to do the thing that you don't want to do, right? Move to London, move to North Carolina, start the podcast, whatever it is, right? It's okay to go out and be curious and be brave about it because we like labels. It's fine. Just go do it. We give you permission.
Well, and to remember that bravery requires fear. There is no bravery without fear. If you are not feeling fearful, you don't have the capacity to be brave. Fearless is not bravery. You have to be afraid in order to be brave.
Or like you have to give a shit if you're going to even feel like anything, but also like spending time on hate or whatever it is. Blame is also a waste of that energy too. It's like, okay, it still means you care. Otherwise just, Mel Robbins it, just let them, right? Like let people have their feelings, let people judge you or whatever it is. It doesn't matter as long as you're good with the person you are at the end of the day for you. Mm-hmm. You got to deal with your crazy head. Okay. So you might as well
you are your only actual life partner. You are the only relationship you will have your entire life.
Oh, I hope anybody is going to listen, right? Like when we put us live, like, if you just needed to hear it, you got it. You got it. Relationships just make up your entire life, period. Especially the one with yours. Okay. So because she's the expert, she's certified in consent and communication because it sounds simple, never is, right? And I love talking about communication, and I love how you can squiggle your bullshit BA in communication into talking to your friends who talk about consent, right? So how can retailers and any educators bring sort of your consent and communication tools on the sales floor in any conversation, especially an intimate conversation?
Mm-hmm. And it's like I just said, how you relate is how you relate. How you communicate is how you communicate. So a couple tools that I really love is really understanding the purpose of communication. So are you trying to sell something, or are you trying to understand what your customer or your partner actually needs? Those are two different conversations. This is something that comes up a lot when I have couples come to me about, I want to talk to my partner about opening up our relationship, but I'm so scared, but this is something like I know I really want to do. And like, what if we break up? We're going to lose everything. How do I have this conversation? I go, well, first and foremost, your first conversation is not about opening up your relationship. You don't even know what that means yet. All you know is you're curious to learn more. So let's start with that curiosity. Get curious about your partner. Hey, have you heard of this term consensual non-monogamy before? Hey, I saw this, I heard about this movie. I saw this article. It got me curious. Have you heard about this before? What do you think? Your initial goal is to understand your partner's thoughts and feelings about this concept. And that translates directly to consumers. Don't try to sell them something. Understand what it is. Do they even know about what they're looking at right now? Is this the first time they've ever entered a sex toy shop, marketplace, whatever it is? You have no idea where they're coming from. Your first job is curiosity. Most of your initial, interactions should be questions. Understand them before you do anything else.
And if you've been paying attention, we just talked about 2 episodes ago, making sure you're not a salesperson. You're guiding your person right onto the experience they're looking for, which should include, right? We talked about there was the stat was 40% of people walking into your store right now are looking for something that vibrates. Great. How do they have that experience they're looking for? You need to make sure you're asking the correct questions. That they're likely going to need condoms, a lubricant, a cleaner, all the things, or they're not getting the correct experience that you were trying to guide them to.
Have they even used anything that vibrates before? Are they scared about it? Are they excited about it? Where are they coming to you from when it comes to that?
Right. And vice versa. How many people have, at least on my side, I get a lot of people coming to me being like, so many people walk up to me. Some people love it. And some people don't appreciate some customers oversharing, right? Because they're not the communication experts, right? They don't have the fancy titles and do all the things, and that's okay. That's why we have the Tori to say, hey, great. Me neither, but I know how to point you in the direction of experts. It's okay to not know what you don't know, right? Nobody needs to feel like they need to give that part of themselves away in order to sell something. No.
Well, there's a great quote that at least was attributed to one of my favorite teachers and inspirations, Esther Perel. There's no such thing as an expert. There's just someone who's dedicated a far more substantial amount of time and focus on one thing than others.
I love that.
And it's just, I love that because it takes like the pressure off. You don't need to be the expert in all things. You just need to have a wider resource base around this specific thing than the person you're talking to.
Oh, goodness. I think that totally hits for me in some ways where it's like, so-and-so, the expert's like, no, but I still want to give myself permission to still learn, right? I think I fear
absolutely.
Oh my God, if I become the expert, now I'm like stuck in some sort of like pedestal row. This is my silly head sometimes, right? It's like, no, I don't want to be the expert, regardless of, I'm like, it's only been 2 years that I've been doing condoms. I'm surprised you're not asking me about liquids. Okay. But that's still not what happens. It's like, okay, but you've been doing it 2 years longer than me, so you are the expert.
Well, exactly. And you have the experience and the knowledge base, right? And the power in saying, you know what, I don't know, but that is a fantastic question. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to learn something new so that I can bring you back an adequate answer.
Right. It's not like a poor performance thing because you don't know. You can say, great, let me find you an expert, right? Like, hey, by the way, I'm not a doctor in any of this, anybody, right? Like
trust. That builds trust so much more than trying to come up with an answer that may or may not serve them. You're going to retain a much more loyal customer and if we're talking about romantic partners here or customers.
No, but like, right, it goes hand in hand. Business 100%. And negotiation is part of your relationship.
Yeah, don't lie to me. It's uncomfortable to say I don't know because we have a society that says we're supposed to know everything from birth and, et cetera, et cetera. But that actually breeds a great deal of trust because they're going, oh, they're going to actually let me know. That like, and they're going to figure it out. There's a difference between saying, oh, I don't know, and move on and try and pivot them elsewhere. But no, I don't know. And thank you. I don't know. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to add that. You just gave me something. Thank you. That creates a relationship now.
Yeah. You've hit the nail on the head. Just this week, I had another mentor with the just, I was like, sometimes I have to catch myself where I say like, oh, it's okay. And I was like, wait, it wasn't okay, but I just didn't know what else to say. And she's like, just thank you. Right. So my, whatever, my number, I think, has switched from 3 to 2s, where it's like, I'm seeing a pattern where people bring things up in 2s. We better bring it up again. Maybe I'm the 3, right? Saying thank you is perfectly acceptable, right? Like, I never know what to do with an apology or sometimes the attention, right? But it's okay to say thank you. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. I also have had a few, it depends on the circumstances, but I enjoy practicing uncomfortable silence. And I say it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable when someone apologizes. And it was
like, you want to try it right now for 5 seconds? Yeah. It'll be so weird for both of us.
Oh, that's like, not even comfortable with you. I mean, when it's like someone fucks, I don't know if we can curse, sorry, but someone like messes up.
Go for it. I get banned anyway.
Yeah, that whole like it's okay thing that's so ingrained in us, especially like as people socialize as women. It's like, you don't rock the boat. Everyone else is more important. All that business. So it's like when someone, it's when someone messes up and it's real, but at least they own it and they hold it accountable. Just practicing the like,
the taking up of the space.
That's it.
Right? Yep. Like,
that did happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to make you wrong or anything. Like, you're owning it. Cool. It's not okay. So I'm not going to say that. We're not through it. There's nothing to thank you for necessarily at this point, but yep.
And I think for me, I struggle with the identification, right? Like, as we go through and we want to put labels on relationships, right? I struggle with like, almost I need the muscle memory of what are good phrases for me to say in this situation, even though that might not be what I say, because otherwise I will default to, oh, it's okay. Or, saying like, oh, sorry about this. It's like, no, you can just say like, excuse me, I need to get through, or whatever the verbiage is, without me having to over explain again why we have a trade show. So we have this outlet, a trade show, a podcast, whatever this is, right? Because humans be crazy.
Yeah. How do you end conversations that you're done with before the other person is done?
Usually, this is a great question. How do I end it? I usually poorly end it with like a question, right? Like, is that okay? Or like, if it's my kids, I'm like, hi, did you hear me? Right. But I always do that classic, like, right, we're good, or what's going on? Okay, like, bye, kind of thing. But it's always in that like uptick, right?
Yeah. I feel like I like to toy with different completions, because like finishing before someone else is finished, again, socialized as women, we make space for everyone else.
Oh, this is interesting.
No, like, I'm done. Like, if the conversation's done, like, I'm done. So I'm practicing different versions of, this was really great. I'm really glad we were able to have this exchange. I'm going to go and mix around the rest of the room now. Or just like instead of avoiding like, oh, I hope we connect later. Or like, if I don't want to connect with that person, that's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to say.
I don't have to pretend there's I need to go talk to. No, you know what? I want to mix. I want to, kind of mix around and see who else is here. But thank you so much for your time.
But why is it the just like knee-jerk reaction is like, oh yes, I will make myself available to you. I'm
done now.
Yeah. Like, all right, goodbye. Or when, for me, learning, what is it? There's the 1 minute manager guys. They say, like, right, that's not my monkey, or whatever it is, where someone just kind of walks in and drops a project. And it's like, no, you need to know which monkeys are yours.
Your lack of preparation is not my emergency.
Exactly, kind of deal. So I struggle with which pieces are mine to pick up. Right. Because, just because I can't help everybody doesn't mean I need to, or that I should, or that other people even ask. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just the concept of, going through, I hope someone can help you with that. Like, I agree with you, but it's not me. Like, thank you for thinking of me.
That does look like a problem. I agree. I hope you find the right person for that.
I hope you find someone to help you with that is one that I ended up kind of sitting on, because I would struggle with that. Like, instead of be like, oh my God, let me help. And then being frustrated because I'm like, do I really know how to help?
No. Yeah. And some people will push, and there's nothing that says you can't say, you know what, I'm actually not available for that.
It's so hard. But look, Allie gives us permission.
Practice.
We can do
Practice makes progress. There's no other way. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. It's not called growing pleasures.
Well, and then that's why we have amazing friends like the Alley, and we look at the beautiful ceiling, and she had the best boots. I'll find the pictures. I'll bring them.
Those boots were made for
them later. Oh my God, they were I was like, I need them. And she's like Wonder Woman. It was perfect. And we have really great conversations like this. Yay. What was the other one we were going to talk about when we were talking about, just open relationships, if we're going to circle back for a minute, because we like learning and it's fun to talk through with, I'm not an expert and you are on all these things, relationships. So what's the biggest misconception you hear about non-monogamy, and what do you wish more people understood?
Oh my goodness. It's such a smorgasbord to choose from,
right?
As far as common misconceptions. I think some of the bigger ones, some of the bigger ones are, non-monogamy, polyamory, open relationships. They're all the same thing. And it's just a free for all. It means, it's all about sex, and it's a free for all, and just anything goes. No, and no. The short answer.
I don't like my food touching. It's not really how that goes, right?
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
We have terminology for a reason. I like to say that these labels, polyamory, open relationships, swinging, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are labels. They're the beginning of the conversation, not the end of the sentence. But they exist, so we have a little bit of a shorthand to at least get a conversation started. You should always ask, what does that mean to you? What you said you're in an open relationship. What are your relationship agreements? What does that mean? Investigate, let that lead to the next question. And the idea that these dynamics are all about sex, for some people, they're sexually motivated. Our sexual desires and our emotional desires, our romantic desires, are different need sets. Those are different, planes of desire that we have.
Or is that the love languages, right? Like some people might.
Well, we can do a whole episode on the problematic five love languages.
Make a note, because I would love that.
Well, it's desire planes, basically. Your romantic need, you may have a higher need for exclusivity romantically, but maybe not as much sexually. Vice versa, or maybe they're the same. And that's why it's important to understand A, that they're separate, and B, what your needs are, so you can create a relationship structure that supports it. For example, if you have a higher need for exclusivity romantically, but a lower need for exclusivity sexually, an open relationship might be a great option, where you have one primary romantic partner, and then you guys both, have other sexual partners potentially. If you have less of a need for romantic exclusivity, you could be more in the polyamorous area, where you have multiple romantic partners and sexual partners simultaneously. The key here is that everyone involved has full knowledge of what's going on and consents to it. That is the defining difference. Because the other, without
all the information,
you can't choose. If that's like what we talked about earlier, you can't choose a relationship if you don't know what's available. You have to know what's going on to choose it. And so this leads me to another, huge misconception, that non-monogamy is a synonym for cheating. Actually, I'll say two in one here, that it's a synonym for cheating and that it's a synonym for casual dating. So cheating is about lying and deceiving someone.
For sure. I don't think it means what you think it means, people. Let's
be clear.
For cheating can mean in the back.
Yeah. And cheating can mean different things to different people. That I've talked to so many partners who they think they understand cheating the same, and they don't. One partner will think, watching porn is cheating, and the other one will think just genital penetrative sex is cheating. They need to define what that is for each other. Where are their relationship boundaries, which are called agreements, so they have an understanding and they can adhere to that? Because if you don't know and you're making these assumptions, which most people are, they're just assuming their way into relationship, you're going to run into issues. So remember, again, consensual non-monogamy. The key here is consent, informed consent. Cheating is about lying and deceiving and hiding the truth. Could not be more opposite.
And any relationship in your life is likely going to follow those same standards. I'm not sure why we don't hold the same standards in a lot of our romantic relationships, right? But I digress.
Yeah. Just, and remembering that you can be cheated on, whether you're monogamous or non-monogamous, and you can be casual or committed, whether you're non-monogamous or monogamous. Non-monogamy is not a synonym for casual dating. Your relationship style is up to you and the people involved. What are
right?
your
We need better
agreements?
words.
Don't need any conversation, any
yes
about it would be great.
Yes, that would any conversation valid. Oh, I blurred. Oh. Hello. I'm sorry, camera. Oh, we're back. Okay. Sorry, I got too excited and my camera was like, I don't know where you went. This is what happens when we're still recording things in my bedroom, because what are you gonna do? I think, can you see there's one doggy?
We're in the sexual wellness and relational wellness industries.
The wellness.
The bedroom's not where we're at. Like
yes, this is the spa. Ooh.
Where it all happens.
No, because maybe for the next one, because we have to talk about the what was it, the love languages. I'm already planning our next episode. I will be in my office and it'll be fun. We can look at the pretty books at the same time. But you know what? It doesn't stop from girlfriend time or excuses to do these shows. Okay, sorry. Getting back on track. So you've worked with all the couples, right? And so many couples around the world. I'm sure you maybe noticed some patterns, right? Especially when we were talking about like what struggles do you think people just like understood more, right? So how do you get to do what you get to do all day, right? How does your work help shift any of this narrative? Like, it's amazing. How do you do it?
How do you
do the thing?
How do I do what I do? The magic that you do.
Yes. How you make the people think the things in your work, right?
I consider myself very lucky to be able to do this work, and I do it in a few different facets. I do work directly with clients on a limited basis, and I have a lot of evergreen resources on my website. I call it a resource education platform, or a relationship resource platform. There's tons of courses and all kinds of resources that are always available on the site. We're adding to it all the time because, again, relationships are a skill set. I'm privileged to be able to sit on a number of advisory boards as well within the sex tech and relational wellness spaces. I have a number of non-executive director roles. So I'm fortunate to advise brands in this space and help them really understand like what their customers are doing. What are they asking about? What are they curious about? What do they need? Because the biggest thing I see with clients that I do work with and customers who come through my platform, Passport to Pleasure, is it really boils down to just being seen. At the end of the day, being able to be seen. And so that's why I talk about an open relationship. You can have an open monogamous relationship or an open non-monogam or a closed non-monogamous relationship, because it's about being able to communicate openly and having your container of your relationship be a safe space where you can like be uncomfortable. I don't know. I just learned about this thing and I kind of want to explore BDSM, but I don't even know what that means and it scares me. And is it okay to talk to you about it? We're so afraid of each other and the judgment and the fear that comes up for ourselves. Then we react. We don't have the skills. We don't have the tools and the skills that we need to build the relationships that we want and deserve.
Right. The lizard brain will still pick
it comes up and
it'll just still like, well, I'd rather be like, I'd rather just stay here in my miserable, because I can, it's predictable. I can guess what's going to happen, even though I know I'm not going to like it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That discomfort is growth, and you have to cultivate your capacity to be in it.
Fine, we did it. But
just moved. Like jealousy can be sexy.
So truth, right? But just like own it, right? And if you don't know, then maybe you need to sit with that, and that's why we have the words to try to identify the things, right?
Yeah, you have to learn about it to know. You have to be able to learn about whatever the thing is, whether it's jealousy or what have you, so that you can use it like a tool and it doesn't turn you into one.
Because if you don't know, you don't know. That's just it, right? It's okay. But well, you gotta accept the help, right? Mm-hmm. This is awesome. Passport to Pleasure. It's a good name. How did you come up with it, by the way? What inspired it? How does it help your SEO search? People find you with like this
probably could be better for SEO than passport to pleasure, but
hey,
but behind it, the idea is twofold. We all want the pill, the quick fix, the button, the thing, but it's not, it just isn't, right? So for me, it's getting your passport stamps on the relation trip where you're creating this dynamic with another person or other people, all the stamps in your relation trip to create that relationship the way that you want. These are different skills, experiences, etc. Like I said, I'm
funny. I'm
I like some
hear
words.
all the memes. It's a good time. Okay, sorry. It's a very serious show.
That's okay. I wanted to evoke that sense of adventure because so many of us who love to travel, we get excited for that next trip. What's going to happen? What's possible? The unknown is exciting. But when we go on that journey inward, that overused word journey, but when we take that relation trip inside, we retract, we get afraid. We're not sure. The unknown becomes scary. So I want people to have that same sense of adventure and exploration when it comes to the relation trip that they do for their, worldly adventures.
I love that. So good. See, this is why you get paid the money to do the fun stuff. Okay. This is where I would normally be like, hey, does anyone else have any questions? And then I queue you up for what I just randomly started this year, which was the rapid fire, where you're just not supposed to overthink it anyways, because also eventually as I start being a grown-up and learn how to clip the things, these are fun for clipping, right? But also I just started it now. I have to keep doing it. Okay. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Your go-to pleasure product that deserves way more hype. Yeah.
My right hand. Oh, and I my right hand, but also,
but also
tease ring from a friend of mine.
But also she meant the phalanges here, ladies and gentlemen.
These babies.
No, there's something to be said in a world of like all this technology. Right? You could still just be human. You don't have to have all the bits and bobs. You don't still need to be this far away from your.
I will say though, on that, I'm kind of joking, but like, I just like lost all of my brand partnerships. No, like, yes, I love this, but like, actually, as someone who travels,
Tori, where we have no brand partnerships, so we can do whatever we want. Yay.
Well, I say that, but honestly, like to your point about like all the apps and all the technology, it's actually very exciting to me because as somebody who not only is a world traveler and on the road all the time, I have multiple partners all over the world. So to create that intimacy and that connection, I actually love all the technology and apps that we have now. I can buy a bunch of toys that all connect with each other and send one to everybody, and we all sync up on an app.
Right, like how I have to manage. I have to manage the kids' schedule and like put Ryan's in there and everything else. You're like, oh wait, travel schedules, and I got to make sure everybody's correctly in the rotation. Like, I know it seems glamorous. I am not. I am monogamous, right? But I have friends and I speak to people that have open relationships, and I'm like, people romanticize it. They're like, oh yeah, I got so many partners. They're like, are you kidding me? If you don't even like know one bit about your internal self or like know how to communicate, like almost flawlessly, don't even do it. Like you're not who you say you think you are.
I want to call you on that though. It's not like,
I mean, in a grown-up
it's not like, oh, you're poly, you never get jealous. No. You know how to do it all right.
This isn't a joke, but you have to be sure to communicate it, right? Like you shouldn't be in a relationship
being uncomfortable, for sure. That's the biggest one. You have to be okay making mistakes and learning from them, owning them when it's on you, stuff like that. Absolutely. Yes. And you have to be really good at time management. Really good.
Maybe that's what I'm getting at, but also in a joking way where it's like, oh, if you don't have time to drag your feet with one relationship, and then now you're going to do, it's a lot.
Yeah. Everything you're working on and doing in one relationship, you're going to be doing in multiple. So don't use the idea of, open relationships or non-monogamy as a way to avoid what's going on in your current relationship. If you're not working on that, it's just going to show up in every other relationship.
It's just like everything else. Like it's just that you're upping the ante. So,
it's maybe exposure therapy. You're just going to get more of it.
It's not like it just magically goes away. And like, or what I'm working on in my boundaries, just with things that I'm volunteering my work time and stuff for. And like this, I do bullshit like this with my friends. Yay. And then I do it back to them. You know what I mean? But there's like things that I want to do. But also I need to remember that if I'm the loaf of bread, I do need to leave some slices for like myself and my family. They don't just magically appear because I'm like, I'm just going to get caught up and like nothing else will fill the space. No, something will show up. Right. So,
and on that, making sure that your relationships, the ones you get to choose, are pouring back into you as well.
And then learning how to sit with that feeling, and then how do you communicate it? And then there's the guilt, and then there's the loop and fun things. Anyway, that's a different episode. That's a different episode. Okay. So on that note, what's in your mind, what's the one thing everyone should say before sex?
Geronimo.
Okay. Geronimo, right.
Did you want real answers?
I see you like jumping into like the cute little bed, the digital bed, and they're like, wee. And that's it. That's it, folks. You know what? If you're going to do anything, any of this stuff, do it because you like it, right? At the end of the day, speak into the microphone because you like it. So have multiple partners because you like it, right? Just have your life because you like it. That's adorable. Okay. Well, you mentioned you don't have any brand partners at the moment, but no limits.
Oh no, I was just joking because I do. I'm literally wearing one of them. And I'm like,
okay. That aside, I obviously did my sponsorship research on you. No, I was just like, yay, let's talk again. And I'll bring up the fun extras photos because boots. That was boots, not boobs, for when the auto titles happen. Yes, they were there too, but I just want to make like I care. I get shadow banned about everything anyways, even though I'm not monetized, so I don't care. Who's in the dream board for who do we need to manifest that needs to come and be a collab with the alley?
Ooh. I mean, there's like this is like a 2-part answer because
that's
like,
fine. I'll take it.
You'll take it. Okay, thank you. A part A and part B. So I mentioned like Esther Perel.
I get that.
Yes,
I get that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So Esther Perel is someone whose work I admire very much, who's inspired a lot of my own as well. So doing some sort of like, I don't know, like fireside chat at South by or something like that. Like I don't know. Girl can dream. That's on the vision board for sure. But then also, a long-term
for you.
Thank you. A long-term vision I have is I also work in the sex positive event space. I produce essentially curated nightlife events would be the applicable mainstream terminology. And I would really love, there's an underserved demographic in that space where there's a luxury price point that just isn't being met in an effective way. And I want to create sex positive, inclusive, like very high end, Instagrammable eco luxury resorts that are play friendly, adult only, like that kind of a thing, but really, really up level and upscale for that just immersive, sensual experience.
Yeah, like you really feel relaxed, like you're at a resort and safe, but there's been a certain amount of boundaries already set, right? The communication was there. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm having conversations with various, brand partners to work towards that, but finding like a really quality conscious and quality and conscious partner within the hospitality space to create these these luxury resorts that are sex positive, play friendly, adult only is going to be an incredible project.
Good job.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I want that for you. I will help in the manifestation. You never know. One person might know somebody, and I think that would rock. There's plenty of people. I'll come and say hello. It's going to be fun. I'll help you decorate. So what's the last thing that made you laugh so hard that you cried? Do you remember?
That I cried.
Or at least like huge belly laugh or something, because not everybody cries when they laugh, but the exaggeration of crying, laugh so hard.
I'll tell you what gave me my last what I call siggle and my sex giggle, because if you're not laughing while you're having sex, you're not doing it right. Like that is a special joy,
right? And
if you can't go from like immediate eroticism to like hilarity on a dime, like that, come on, that's like next level. No, like that's not. You got to have access to both.
It's fine.
So my my current partner here in London was doing something he's very effective at. and I let him know. I let him know that I gave some lived in the moment feedback. And he just looks up at me straight face and just goes, "Darling, I'm a professional." And I just lost my mind. And it's now something we'll use just like day to day.
Please tell me with the accent, right?
Of course. With like the quality British accent. I'm just like, I'm dead.
I need you.
Hilarity. Like, we're finished.
You need to make that a cute little reel or something. So like immediately. So that's adorable. I love it. Well, cheers to you, my darling. You are a professional, and this is the moment where I have to pretend we're wrapping up, but like, we probably do have to wrap up. I don't know. You probably have a life. It's like 7 o'clock over there, 8 o'clock.
It's just about 8 o'clock. I have my weekly phone date with my girlfriend in LA. So
fun, good. So I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to stay on task. So this is going to be the closing thoughts and your shameless plug, right? So you are an absolute gift. I'm so excited to have met you. And even though I could still talk for like another 2 hours, we got lives, but we're going to figure more things out and make things happen. But before we go, what is like the last thing, was one more takeaway you want the audience to walk away with today? Like whether it's relationships or just, merchandising or, hey, watch this new show, whatever you want to share.
Oh my goodness. Biggest takeaway. Being curious is the greatest gift you can give to yourself in your work, in your love life, in your relationship with yourself, in your fitness, in your nutrition. Being curious will give you a very fulfilling life. Don't feel like you need to know the answers to everything or project. Find the next question. Make that your goal in everything.
I love that. That's super. Let's make a banner, right? Stay curious. Well, I'm curious. Thank you. Please let everybody know if they're looking to find you. I'll be on the live comments when they stream, and I'll hopefully put some banners. But if they want to find you, do the shameless plugs and anything else you want to tell people.
Absolutely. You can find very findable Passport to Pleasure, the number 2. So the numeral 2. Oh, who's that? Okay. So you can find me at passporttopleasure.com, the number 2, passporttopleasure.com. I'm on Substack, TikTok, Instagram. The biggest platforms, honestly, are going to be Substack and YouTube. Passport, the number 2, Pleasure. And then I'm also on Instagram as just me, Ali Iseman, and then my company, Passport to Pleasure, as well. If you just type in Passport to Pleasure, again with the number, you'll find me.
I found them, like your whole page, faster than I could find you. I was like, wait, there's cute pictures. There's more. That rocks. And yes, the nephew just came home. It is about 3 o'clock over here, and we have to start with the kid rotation. Okay, see, we're done.